This is Excellence Impact on High Television, and in today's edition, we are asking the question: Are professional higher institutions in Cameroon a solution to job creation and unemployment? Are professional higher institutions in Cameroon a solution to job creation and employment? That's what we'll be talking in this edition of the program. Hi televiewers, you're welcome once more to this program. It's always a pleasure to be with you every Monday to discuss pertinent issues that can help our society grow. With us here we have Mosoke Lucas Lyonga. He's the General Coordinator of Excellence Union International Group and a modern nation builder. It's a pleasure to have you on set today, Mr. Mosoke.
Yeah, it's a pleasure once more to be here. If people know that the Monday rendezvous is very serious and we take it seriously, and we just wish to say that today you will not regret why you tune to or you are watching High TV. And I just wish that you should also be able to share. When we share the link, you should share it to your friends so they should watch and gain something that can transform their lives. Just one word from this program can just transform your life and you will never be the same again. Thank you.
All right, thank you. It's like we said from the beginning, it's very important and very necessary that you are watching High Television at this particular moment. Like he said, you are going to learn a lot of things, and it's also going to help you making the right decisions in your life. Today, like I said earlier, we are looking at professional higher institutions in Cameroon, a solution to job creation and unemployment. That's a problem that we have. It's a cankerworm that is eating deep in our society. So I'm asking you, Mr. Mosoke, if you look at particularly the town of Boya particularly, it's like when you have one house, you have one higher institution, one house, one professional higher institution. I'm asking now, why the proliferation of these professional higher institutions at this time? What's the drive?
Yes, actually, I think that with respect to the multitude of graduates that are released from the high school, you have those who pass in the GCA levels and those who pass in the baccalaureate. They are in hundreds of thousands of graduates from advanced level. So I think that the creation of higher institutions of learning is to be able to help to absorb those that cannot be absorbed by state universities. That, to me, I think that's one of the reasons why so many of them are authorized to function, so that youth should not pass the advanced level or baccalaureate and they don't have where to go to, or maybe to stay at home. I think that's not a good option. The good option is not to stay at home, but it's to go to school. So from the general perspective of creation of these higher institutions of learning, to me, I don't think there is a problem at that level, because we need as many schools as possible in order to train youths and to make youths to become professionals. So the creation is not a problem. We even need many more, because there are still so many students or graduates that need to be absorbed. Not all are being absorbed as desired. There's still a good number that is hanging, maybe because of lack of funds or whatsoever reason they may have, that they are not able to have access to state universities, and probably also not able to meet up with the fees of these private higher institutions at the moment. So such students or such graduates, such candidates find themselves wasting or spending a number of years at home, gathering themselves maybe at the right time to get enrolled into which of the institutions will be able to absorb them. Yeah.
All right, like you said to you, the number is not a problem. It's just that we have a lot of students that are graduating or are passing the advanced level, and they are supposed to go into these secondary schools. Now, if you're looking at, when we talk of a school milieu, a school is an institution that harbors a lot of children. At least, if you go to a school where you see about 10,000 or let's say 1,000 students with about 5 teachers, don't you think that is a problem? Is it just to open a school, or is that you open a school and the school should be able to meet the standards of a professional higher institution?
Yeah, you know, most of these professional higher
Project for the Acceleration of Digital Transformation of Cameroon PADNUC is organizing the very first edition of the Agritech Innovation Challenge from July 17 to September 30, 2024. This is a competition which aims to select, reward, and promote the 10 best agri-techs offering original digital solutions for the agro-pastoral sector. You can benefit from a grant of up to 40 million francs CFA. Submit your application before August 25, 2024 at www.aic.padnuc.cm to participate in the regional pre-selections and the national final in Yaoundé.
Think about it. Having your child enrolled in a skill-focused school where they are encouraged to explore and discover. At Revival Bilingual Nursery and Primary School, we understand that true learning goes beyond just academic knowledge. Our curriculum is designed to foster the development of essential life skills, with state-of-the-art facilities like culinary, sewing, music, and computer laboratories, as well as agricultural facilities. Revival Bilingual Nursery and Primary School unlocks the full potential.
But when you use part-timers, at times they are paid per semester. After they have taught one semester, you pay, then the other semester you pay. So they are paid probably just twice a year. So it also reduces the cost of running the programs. So that's why you find them. Check all the big towns in Cameroon that have state universities. That's where you find all these private higher institutions springing up every day, because they take advantage of the presence of that state university in order to run smoothly. But with time, when they would have grown and have their roots maybe well rooted, they will be able to employ many more, so that they have many more people teaching in such institutions. But for now that they are still struggling to build a base, they may not have enough funds to be able to pay and pay well when they employ people full-time. Because when you employ somebody full-time, the person is supposed to be coming to work. And will you be able to pay the person if the person is coming to work on a daily basis? So that is why probably they need just part-timers who only come when they have a course or they have a class. They come and teach and leave.
Okay, I love the fact that you've already mentioned state university. As professional higher institutions, they are affiliated to state universities. But do you think all of them have fulfilled that particular obligation? Because we know of a few. There was also a list that came out that some of these schools were mentioned as they were not supposed to be existing, clandestine schools, all of that. We still have them in our society and they are still functioning.
No, actually, what you need to know is that it's a process which has two stages. First of all, people declare their intention to run an institution. You go ahead while pending final approval by the ministry. That's why at that state, you cannot write the government final examinations like the HND and so on through such institutions. They always register their candidates under those institutions that are authorized, or they are registered as external candidates under institutions that are authorized. So but there is a grace period of operation before they finally come and do all the survey and everything, before you finally be authorized to function. But there's a grace period where if you submit, they give you a go ahead, you start functioning. But it has a limited time where you have to fulfill all the conditions. They come and do the check so that they give you the full authorization. So many of them that don't yet have those status, they cannot claim to register students maybe on these professional examinations that are written at the end of the year. They always register their students through other institutions of learning because they don't have the authority to do that. So you see that we may not so much call them clandestine in that sense. If they are still in that grace period, you cannot call them clandestine. It's when they have been found wanting and are not qualified to operate because they have not fulfilled the condition as needed and their grace period is over and they have not met the conditions, at that time now they will be asked to shut down or not to function. If they continue to function illegal, that's when now they are illegal because they have not been able to meet up with the conditions. There are some institutions in Buea, so many of them, I don't want to mention names. Yes, because it's not necessary. That operated for long before they now gained mentorship and so on. It took them a lot of time. Some have very big names now, but it took them a lot of time to be able to have that mentorship status. But they were operating, they were not qualified to do certain things until they finally got their mentorship status. Before now, they were able to operate. But you should also know that in Cameroon, money plays a lot it plays a lot. There is a lot of corruption, and when you go and check the strict rules that have been given by higher education, and when you realize that at the end, most of these schools, though authorized, do not fulfill those conditions. Especially the one of the fact that you should have at least a 3-hectare space of land where you have your structures. A 3-hectare. Check in Buea, how many of these institutions have a 3-hectare? How many? So most of them don't fulfill certain conditions. But corruption has always been there with its ugly head. The ugly head of corruption is still at work. There are many of them that are functional and functioning without the genuine and the true fulfillment of the strict conditions of the Ministry of Higher Education. If you go to the field and check, they don't fulfill it. But they are still operating. That we may just say that is a merciful hand, because some of the conditions are very strict that it's not easy to fulfill them. In the way in which we find ourselves, not easy. So they may just be authorized by the hand of largesse that they should go ahead, since they have the other conditions, especially those of having the teachers, having the infrastructure in place, they can operate. But most of them are actually not qualified to operate.
Do you think that you are somebody who has the youth at heart? You know, the African youth, you always talk about them, you always want them to excel, you want them to grow. And when we are talking about topics like this, I think we should put we should put them first. We should think of their future. We should think of what is best for them. And you've just mentioned, because why I came out talking about clandestine schools is that a list is actually out. We cannot come and be calling names of schools here.
Yes.
But those schools are still, and it's not only this year, it came out about 3 years ago. It's coming out every year, but these schools are still functioning. Looking at the youth who are going to this institution, what's their faith?
Yes, that is why we are here on board. And permit me to pass this free message to all the youths that have passed the GCE advanced level and baccalaureate. Please, I will do you a free consultation. Don't go to any private higher institution without verifying whether they have been authorized. Don't go and verify from them. Verify from others who are not part of those higher institutions, private higher institutions. Because when you go to them, they will deceive you, even if they are not authorized. They can never tell you that they are not authorized. Never. So please contact me. You can even contact High TV. High TV will get to me and ask me, is this higher institution authorized? Is this private higher institution qualified for this and that? Please, I will counsel you. I will tell you for free that they are qualified or not. I will not mention names. This will be private discussion between us, so that many youths should not be derailed. There are so many of them hanging around now. They are not yet authorized. They are not supposed to function. But since Cameroonians are very stubborn, they still go ahead whereas they are illegally operating. And a good number of students will find themselves in a mess. Especially this one that has come out. There's a long communique signed by the Minister of Higher Education and the Minister of Public Health, halting the training of health personnel by these private higher institutions. This one is public. It's even published in newspapers. You are not supposed to go and apply for health programs, health-related programs in these private higher institutions of learning for now, until the clearance is given. For now, they are still looking at how and which of the institutions qualify, have the means, have everything. Because you don't joke with the health of a people.
Yeah.
You can joke with anything, not health. Health personnel should not be produced anyhow in kitchens and bathrooms. No, they are supposed to. So this one, I think High TV should even take time to pass out that. It's there. It's public. It's legal.
That's why
it's there.
I'm insisting.
It's legal. It's there. It's signed by the ministry and published to the public. The public for public consumption. So it's not something which should not be said. It's even supposed to have been read by all the stations, the radio stations and TV stations. Let Cameroonian youth be safe. If you want to do any health related program and the rest, please go to state universities, and there are a few higher institutions of learning that have been existing for long those days that are authorized because they have infrastructure and the rest. But make sure you check, make sure you verify, consult us. We will tell you for free. You are not paying us, you are not paying me anything. I don't collect money from youths because youths don't have anything. Ask which higher institution should you go to for which program. Excellence Senior International Group will tell you for free. Consult us and ask. Please don't just go and enroll because you see so many billboards everywhere. They are advertising and showing themselves everywhere. Everywhere you see them. It's good because it's publicity, it's advert. But please, before you go to these institutions, consult some of us, consult others who are there to help you. We will tell you the truth, which one should you go to for which program. And also we can guide you which program should you go and read in which higher institution of learning. Some of them are very strong in particular areas, we will tell you. Some of them are not strong, but they still put the programs there. All these things will cancel you quietly behind. That's our own way to help youth, so that you don't go and fall into the trap, because they are there to make their money. Let me tell you the truth. This private institution, their primary aim is to make their money. They are not there to help youth. That is the secondary aim. They are there for money. It's a business. They are making their money. It's business. If they are not making money, they will close it. They are not there to help. Let them not lie to you. They are not there to help. I've spoken to many of the presidents. You are not here to help. If it's a matter of help, there are other things that you can do. Don't tell me that you are helping youth. You are not helping youth. You are here to make money. It's business. They make money. You pay fees. It's not free. So they are there to make their money. And if you come to them, they will never send you away. They will do everything for you to stay with them. It's not bad. But I'm saying that seek counsel first. Ask people who know. Ask us, ask other people. They will tell you that don't go there, don't go the other way. For particular programs, there are particular programs that when you ask me, I'll show you where to go to. Yeah. I'm not biased. I'm not biased. That's why I'm general. I work with everybody. I'll tell you the truth. Go here, go there, go the other way, go the other. Even when you're doing the masters, MBA, MSc, and the rest in these higher institutions, consult us. We will tell you where to go to for MSc, for MBA. We know the strength of these institutions, and we know which one is good at what. Don't go and sell your future. You leave tomorrow and you are regretting, whereas there are people that could give you information for free without you paying them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mosoke. Like I said, he's somebody who has passion for youth. You just saw his reaction, the way he answered that question. You know that I really touched him where I'm supposed to touch. Mr. Mosoke, there's also another problem. Even though we are saying that these schools, there's this communique that is out and all of that, I will go to I will look at the students who already have those certificates. Secondly, but the first one I want us to look at, I want to look at these institutions. They have been functioning for some time now, and a bulk of, like, I cannot even count, of students, nurses have graduated from these schools. They are out there, and they are, just for an example, my neighbor just put to bed, and in a hospital which I will not call the name, these student nurses are the ones taking care of them. Those children, they delivered about 5 babies, and all of those babies are having difficulties in breathing. Why? Because they did not drain the water from the children, or all of them are admitted. All of them were just born, and all of them are now patients, just because of a mistake that was made during delivery. Now, the government allow these schools to function, and then now they come and say this is the problem. Were they not there from the beginning? Who are those who signed the go-ahead order for them to function first? I'm looking at the government now.
Yes, there was an error that was committed. The Ministry of Higher Education is the one that authorized these schools.
Of course.
But you know, when it has to do with health, there is a Ministry of Public Health. So you cannot go ahead to do things about health without the involvement of the Ministry of Public Health. That's why they are bringing order now. The Ministry of Public Health is the oversight body. They were not involved during the issuance of these authorizations for issues that have to do with health. That's why the Ministry of Education the Ministry of Public Health has come out strong that they cannot accept and allow health personnel to be produced anyhow. They are already causing chaos in the field, and it's because they have not been properly trained. They have not been properly trained according to the health norms. There are health norms, and that's why it's difficult to find many health institutions. You cannot find them proliferated everywhere. Health is not something like economics, English, languages. No. Health has to do with the life of human beings. So that's why they are bringing order now in the sector. You should not just apply for authorization to operate and they just give you. So the Ministry of Health has come in. No. There should be order so that, for example, they need to check your facilities. What do you have? Do you really have what it takes? Before now, if the ugly head of corruption, Mr. Corruption, does not get involved, you realize that virtually none may be qualified. I say virtually none may be qualified, or maybe a handful may have facilities. For example, a handful that maybe have hospitals or clinics and the rest are already operating and so on. They have good laboratories, they have good practical laboratories where people can carry out their practicals very well and so on and so forth. Then now, and there are also available hospital facilities in that area. For example, an area like Buea, they're not supposed to authorize many institutions for health issues, because where are the hospitals where all these people are supposed to go for internship? How many of these hospitals are available and of high and of acceptable standard to be able to absorb these thousands of youth? So all those things will be taken into consideration before you could be authorized to operate. I think they should not joke with this area of health. They should joke with other areas if they wish to joke, but not health. That has to do with the lives of people. So the Ministry of Public Health has stepped in now to put order. So they were not authorized by the Ministry of Public Health. That is responsible. That is the oversight body. But now they have put their hands. They say we cannot put the lives of Cameroonians at jeopardy, at stake. We have to bring order here. Health personnel should be formed. Is rigorous in places like the United States and the rest. It's not a joke. That's why when you even take some of these things and go to the United States, they just laugh at you, because they are not sure you have followed the rigor in which health personnel are supposed to be trained. And that's why there is one which I get probably every day announced that somebody is preparing health personnel so that when they go to the US, they'll just get the same integrated. Okay, if that person has been there and knows everything that has to be done and has his facilities in place, and can drill them according to that standard, then fine. The person now can submit his thing. The Ministry of Health studies it, maybe come to the field and see whether this person has what it takes. Such a person now could say, okay, let's authorize him because he has what it takes. The personnel are there, the people to teach are there, the whatsoever is there, the facilities for practical work is there, and the affiliations to probably hospitals and health bodies for extended internships is there, available. Then now they can go ahead. But I don't know where the thousands of health youths that are doing nursing and the rest in midwifery, where are the hospitals in Buea? Where are the hospitals in Cameroon to absorb them for internships? So it's let's not commercialize the lives of human beings. Let's not commercialize health. The lives of human beings is more important than capitalists making money. Let's not make money out of the life of human beings. So to me, that sector should be strictly controlled. Let compliance be strict, and authorization should be given only to those who have facilities to train health personnel.
Yeah, I must use this opportunity to applaud the Minister of Public Health, Madam Uda Malachi. He's actually doing a very great job when it comes to the health domain. And Mr. Musokia will go further. We are talking about, we're looking at our professional higher institutions in Cameroon, a solution to job creation and unemployment. Now, do you think every year they graduate thousands of these students every year? But from my own observation, and I believe that many other people too have observed this, these children who come out from these professional institutions are still carrying their files, going up and down looking for a job from one place to another. They are unemployed. So how professional are these institutions?
Professional institutions are only a solution to absorb many more Cameroonians that may not be able to go to state universities. That's a solution of number. But to tell me that they are a solution in the line of professionalism, no, that's not true. Because the same people who are teaching there are the same people who are teaching in state universities. I want to make this point clear. Let this point be very clear. The same people, the majority of those who are still teaching there are the same people who are teaching in some of the state. For example, those who are teaching in engineering, those who are teaching in ICTs and the rest, most of them are also teaching in state university or are graduates from these state institutions. Okay, but maybe some private higher institutions have gone further. Maybe some of them have gone further to get extra expertise to beef up. That is where now maybe some of them have an urge or have an advantage, because they might have gone beyond just depending on the corner, and they have gotten some experts that maybe comes and teach and also give a lot of practical lessons to the student. But from a general perspective, you realize now that it will have to trickle down to specificities, specific higher institutions, private higher institutions of learning. Specifically, some of them have gone far. If we had 1 year, they should tell us what they have done, because I am not in daring to tell you specifically, but from my own external assessment, I say from a general perspective, if there are private higher institutions that are making it, there are very few of them. The majority are just there and maybe are still struggling. But I think a few might have distinguished themselves in a way, maybe in specific disciplines or programs, because maybe they have extra expertise in those areas. But to look at it from a general perspective, that have they helped? And no, from a general perspective, no.
Because we still
but from specific perspective, some might have brought in solution. For example, the area of technology, the area of ICTs, some might have come in with new innovations in those areas that may not even be existing in state universities, because they are linked up with a lot of partnership abroad. Some of them have such facilities. Some of them have complex platforms where students can study, can get a lot of information, coming also from abroad, coming from specific industries abroad. Some might have gone that far, but how many of them? So that's why I say some, for specificity reasons, might have clocked certain things. But from a general perspective, you cannot give a global distance, because there is still a good number, high number of graduates. In fact, I was talking yesterday with a friend who told me, I'll not call names again of institution because we cannot call names, it's not necessary, that a good number of people are already complaining about a big name of a private higher institution that their children have gone there, they have come out, they are still roaming the street. And they thought that the big name and all what was being done, they thought that as the children are finishing, that's how they will go. And they already say it means that this thing may also be another scam or a deception and things like that. We would have loved to have some people on board. We cannot mention names because they may be extremely destructive. Yeah, so let me just say that private higher institution leaders themselves should be able to talk and tell the public specifically which problem have they solved since they started. What are the specificity? Where is their strength? What have they done practically? Let them show the public for themselves what they have been able to do. That's why I'm talking of specificity. Yeah, that's why I talk of specificity. So might have had a niche. But the global, this thing, 99% of the problem has not been solved. It may be a certain 1% have been solved by some private higher institutions because of their strength in particular areas. Yes, but I told you the problem of numbers. That is the main issue that might have been resolved a bit. But the problems are still there. I know of so many graduates outside now, private higher institutions. They are out to. They are not even closer to those who are from state university in terms of even getting jobs, and so on. So, and please, I think that private higher institution leaders should be able to talk a little bit on this.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Musoke. And our topic is professional higher institutions in Cameroon, a solution to job creation and unemployment. From my own personal observation, like I said here earlier, we have a lot of these students who have graduated from these institutions, and yet they are not employed. They are not employed. They are still jobless, and I don't know why. Maybe we'll have that explanation here. And we are continuing the conversation. I will just allow Mr. Musoke to catch his breath a little bit because he has been talking for long. It's just wise for us to give him some time to catch his breath with a jingle break. I'll be back shortly, so stay tuned. Welcome back, televiewers. If you are just tuning in, the program you are watching is Excellence Impact, and the topic is professional higher institutions in Cameroon, a solution to job creation and unemployment. You will bear with me that this topic is very, very important and timely. Let's welcome on set Isuma Lyonga, who is the director of HIPS. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, madam, and thank you to all televiewers out there. I'm Isuma Lyonga, and the director of HIPS. I've been the director of HIPS since 2012, so that's several years now. And I was invited to the show to come and throw light on this sensitive topic. I'm sure they will give me time to talk about this, but for now, I just wanted to greet you all. Thank you.
Obviously, you're going to have much time to talk about the topic of today. We are looking at professional higher institutions. If you come here in Buea, you see a lot of them. Do you think they are actually solving a problem? Because here in Buea, we have problem with water, we have problem with electricity, which we know that solar systems can be put up. We have a lot of problem with even traffic. There are many things that professional higher institutions can take upon themselves and try to solve a particular problem. Do you think that these schools are actually solving problems in our community?
To say the least, I believe that some of the problems are being solved by some of the schools. The issue of generalizability is what I might not be able to solve or to answer right here. But if we get into the specifics to see exactly what the individual institutions are doing, I believe that some of them have their strengths although not all of them. Like I said, some have their strengths. First of all, if we look at the decisions that are being made by the president, the head of state, he is talking about us trying to localize our context in terms of the curriculum that we design to solve indigenous problems in Cameroon. Now, it does not suffice for us to adopt programs entirely from Western societies to come and start running in Cameroon, teaching students about, some people emphasize a lot on theories and definitions that were, developed some 100 years ago in Europe, which are not applicable in our context today. So one thing that I believe is happening, especially in HIPS, talking about the specifics in HIPS, what we have decided to do is that all the students go through entrepreneurial training. Yesterday I was invited to talk on Prime Media in Douala, and it was a similar topic, not directly the same, but similar. And these are some of the things I mentioned as well. Now, the individual institutions have the responsibility to take the welfare of their students, the future of their students, as a commitment for them to develop. Now, it does not suffice for you to just establish an institution and think that it's a money-making machine. Now, solving some of the indigenous problems. First of all, what we do in HIPS is that we put students through orientation. Whether you are doing nursing, whether you are doing computer engineering, whether you are doing business management or whatever, we make sure that entrepreneurship is one of your core programs or courses that you will do. In this sense, it establishes that trust, that confidence in you, and the knowledge, the expertise that you need in order to be able to create a business, and not just create a business, to grow that business and manage the growth of that business, because these are separate processes, and if you are not trained properly at any level, you can crumble. So to develop the business, we develop the entrepreneurial mindset in the individuals. So I have many examples. I have people who have studied banking and finance. I have people who have studied accounting. I have people who have done human resource management, logistics and transport management, and the like. But because of the training that we give them, even our lawyers, because HIPS is one of the few schools that is training law students who study law as a full degree program, and then they are awarded by the University of Boya. Even the law students will introduce entrepreneurship. This is done with the idea that whether you graduate, you don't only have to depend on government jobs to be a magistrate through ENAM as a lawyer, or to be an accountant in a company. You can establish a firm with the knowledge that we give you and create jobs and employ other people to work for you. Now, talking about electricity and water supply and these things, we have not started really, our technology department has not extended to that level where we are doing civil engineering and the like, or electrical engineering, which we hope to be doing very soon. But I believe that what you are saying, some of these institutions to take that responsibility. Our students who are doing computer engineering, for example, what they are doing is their assignments, they do internships every year. Instead of the minimum requirement that is set by the government that you should do it one time, remember the government gives you minimum requirement, but to make a difference, you should go beyond the minimum requirements, and that's what HIPS is always doing. That's why they say HIPS don't lie anyway. So you go beyond the minimum requirements, you add some extra value to your thing so that your students can stand out in the crowd. What you're saying is that some students in some schools, those that are claiming to be doing engineering and whatever, they were supposed to be establishing some small things that will be solving local problems. Our students who are doing computer engineering, they're already developing software to manage small businesses. They're already developing, still while as students. So those are the ways we can solve these indigenous problems. When it comes to some major projects like water supply and so on, I believe that there has to be a partnership beyond every doubt, a partnership between the private and the government, because these are infrastructures. There are infrastructures that are needed in place that are supposed to work, for these things to be solved. And it's very difficult for private individuals to solve some of these problems. So I believe that there should be a way that the government, if it's already existing, maybe, then it should be made very popular so that everybody should know that there is this way that the government and the private can partner together and then develop some of these things to solve basic problems. I think
the government already has a lot on his hand, and they have their own institutions. They are also struggling to equip their own institutions to meet standards. I believe that if a private institution, you want to be a private institution and you say you are a professional institution, you should be up to the task, not planning to partner with the government.
No, when I talk in terms of partnership, for example, I'm talking in terms of the infrastructure needed. For example, if you want to talk about supplying electricity, there is a partnership, talking about a case how they do it in Europe. You can have your light today, your electricity is supplied today, and then you decide that you are fed up with this company. It takes a phone call. You just call another company. They don't come to your house. They contact that other company that this client is leaving because they are not happy. They tell you that maybe in the next 2 weeks you will migrate to the new company, and then after that 2 weeks your bills are coming from the new company. The lines are being used, the same lines are being used. They have a shared partnership. So there are things that I'm talking about, but I don't think any company can try to do that so far with the current companies in Cameroon. So that's why I'm saying that there must be some sort of partnership to be established for some sectors, not all the sectors. Some sectors would definitely require some partnerships. I think they started with the technology, the communication technology sector, where I've heard, I've not verified the information yet, but I've heard that the antennas are being shared by all the telecoms companies in Cameroon. So MTN, Orange, and so on, they are sharing the same antennas, which is being managed by a central organization. This is how this kind of thing starts. So if that is true, then it means the government has identified that they can create a partnership with private individuals, because it will be difficult for universities alone to take this upon themselves to say that they want to supply electricity in Boya, or to solve the gap that is being created by the demand and the supply, because of so many people maybe migrating from other areas. So, but I think there is a way forward. First of all, remember, before people become so critical about the whole thing, this idea of private universities in Cameroon is still relatively new. So we should not expect too much from them, like, in terms of creating especially major projects like electricity and so on, water supply. These universities are still new. Private universities were not existing in Cameroon. If they were, I wouldn't have traveled abroad to study, because I wanted to do something professional. But they were not existing in Cameroon until recently. So I believe that we should be given a bit more time and support, which we are getting the support from the government anyway, to establish some of these things, because it takes a lot of research and development to be able to come up with some things that can be so innovative to solve real problems. So I think we need a bit more time, but in terms of the commercial sector, some of us are making a difference. If you go to some of the big businesses around, you see graduates from HIPS that have started small businesses and they are growing them up. So, we always say HIPS don't lie, because we try our best.
Thank you very much. Mr. Musoke, you always talk about the new paradigm shift. You always want to bring up youth with a creative mindset, use that are creating impact in the society, and most of these youths, they go to these private higher institutions. Don't you think that some of these private institutions professional higher institutions should maybe specialize on particular programs? Because we have an institution, you don't first of all see the infrastructure, but they have about 15 different programs that they are running in that particular institution. Don't you think that it will be more impactful and good results when we limit ourselves to specific programs?
Yes, when I check top universities in the US, Europe, if you check well, they don't have many programs. There are private higher institutions in Cameroon that have about 3 times the programs that private higher institutions or universities in Europe and the US that have existed for close to 200 years plus or so are having very few programs and huge list of professors and doctors and experts. So I think that is where there seem to be a very big mistake in Cameroon. You cannot give out too many programs and allow too many programs to be run by private higher institutions that are just starting. I think that the strategy would have been for these higher institutions to be given at most 2 domains. I mean at most 2 domains. They can develop so many programs in those 2 domains. First, a good number of them don't even have infrastructure in place. A good number of them don't have what it takes. I'm not running them down, but I just wish to be realistic.
Yeah.
If we wish to train youth, because training youth digitally is different from youth coming physically in class. If there were digital platforms where youth sit at home with their computer and whatsoever and study, it's different. But these are institutions that function physically. People go to school, they sit in classrooms to learn. So the infrastructural aspect would have been taken very seriously. Having the facilities, especially in practical issues, practical programs, they would have verified all these things. I don't think that we should take the lives of youth for granted and just give authorization to people to go and function, and at the end when you even go and assess, you realize that there are a lot of loopholes because they have given them too much that they could chew. This is a reality. Anybody who is very honest could say this. Very few of them have been able to maneuver and actually contain what the government has given to them, even though it's much. But that may just be about 5% of them that have struggled because they already had facilities, they had infrastructure, they had what it takes. At least they have not actually suffered as such. But the majority of them today, you see somebody's backyard is a new higher institution level. Somebody's close to his toilet, there's a new. Please, I think we should treasure the lives of Cameroonian youth. The Minister of Higher Education, who is giving all these things and sending people to the field and the rest, I think that there should be independent commission because the ugly head of corruption is playing. Most of these institutions don't have infrastructures. Why are they authorized in the first place to operate when they don't have what it takes? Are we so desperate to have them? The Cameroonian space is not desperate to have all this multitude of private institutions. I don't think we have reached that stage. We are not desperate for them. We need those that mean business to apply. Please, don't just apply because you want to also save yourself from poverty and frustrate the life of Cameroonian youth. Please, I think these are some of the guys that we need to talk to. There's somebody who should come on board and tell us why they are trying to sabotage the life of Cameroonian youth. You don't have what it takes and you are running to go and apply to start the higher institute of learning. We are not talking of a nursery school, a daycare. We are talking of university. Please, I think we should be serious. This is why I'm very serious about this. But I will still applaud those of them that have done their best. They have infrastructures, they have what it takes. Those ones, we applaud them. But the multitude that have nothing but just want to be like opportunists for the lives of Cameroonian youth. I think that's why we say Cameroonian youth, ask before you go to anywhere. Don't just go and sabotage your life anywhere. But nevertheless, again, we still applaud them for the courage they have. To be very honest, for the courage they have to start something. But I think they should prepare before they go and seek for approval to go ahead. We are no longer in a time where we think that the Cameroonian space is so desperate that if we don't create so many higher institutions or private institutions or professional institutions of learning, then the Cameroonian population will be no. I think we will not reach that stage yet. Yes, so let's take it serious so that when parents come and check where their child is studying, the environment is safe. will look good. And permit me to also say that the government also need to work hard on their own infrastructures in their own state universities. One may not be able to go into that now, but I think they too have a lot, much more also to do in government or state universities. Infrastructures also is needed. Thank you.
You're welcome. I like the fact that we have somebody here who is also a member of that professional higher institutions. We are talking about infrastructure. I remember we went to one school to work one day, and we wanted to take interview. We could not take interview. Why? Because Papa Promo was downstairs. There was a bar. In short, everywhere music. How can a learning environment be found in that place? Maybe you who is part of this professional higher institution should tell us a bit about the procedures. Is it that they just get up and open these schools, or they go through the right procedures?
To be honest with you, this is beyond my ability to explain how these accreditations or authorizations are given to these many schools around. But I can talk about HIPS, our experience, and that now can set a benchmark for others to follow. Now, talking about, you just mentioned a couple of things, and Mr. Mosoke also mentioned, the multitude of programs that many of these schools pursue. I find that very annoying myself, because many people take this issue of school as a money-making business. But university is not a money-making business. This is something that is meant entirely to develop the community, to develop the lives of individuals, to develop the country. That's what universities are meant for. So if you look at big universities around the country, around the world, they are mostly focused on research, that is to solve real-life problems that affect the whole world. In most cases, they solve problems that affect the whole world. But if you come in our case, many people take this thing as a money-making machine. You see people who talk about providing a degree in agriculture, for example, with just maybe not even a big farmland for the students. They don't even have farmland for the students to do practice. Or if they do have farmland, the farmland has nothing but just a piece of land. Now, what makes the difference between the students they are training in agriculture and a peasant farmer who has not gone to school? Be careful. You are giving someone a degree. That means there are many steps ahead of a normal peasant farmer. But at the end of the day, if you see the practices, you realize that what they are doing is exactly the same like the peasant farmer. And in most cases, the peasant farmer is more productive than those who have gone through the so-called university degree in agriculture. So these are the things. Many students come to us. If I show you my phone, you see it's loaded with messages. Say, I want to do civil engineering in your university. I want to do agriculture in your university. We tell them no. The best place I believe you can do that is the University of Buea, that I know at this time that has infrastructure to run some of these programs. We don't need to trade because we have excess land. HIPS has a big campus. We have excess land. If we were looking for quick money, we could easily just take these students, put them to be molding blocks somewhere. But what makes you different from the person just molding blocks? But remember, we are trying to give you a degree here. So these are the things. People have to change their mindset. University education is not to make quick money. If it was to make quick money, I'll be one of the richest people around here. But every day, in HIPS, we put the lives of our students, the interests of the students first. And the prospects of the graduates and what they become in the future is of paramount importance to us than anything else. So we always put their interest first. If you come to us and you say you want to study this, we must put you through some career advice. We talk to you, find out exactly what you want to do. Now, talking about the environment, we used to have our campus in Malingo, but we moved it just behind the stadium, just in line with what you said. You cannot have a university in a noisy place surrounded by noisy music, loud music all over the place and so on. No, a learning environment is supposed to be very serene. It's supposed to be as calm as possible, because learning is some sort of a ritual that requires a particular condition for it to be successful. And silence, pure silence, is one of those conditions. That's why we moved our campus. We removed our campus from Moleko and sent it behind the stadium in Bokwai New Layout. It's just about a 5 minutes walk from the stadium. It's not far, but it's so quiet. And then we linked it up with unlimited mobile data for the students so that we promote research at all levels. So we need to make sure that these things happen. When you realize that there is a good practice, university owners should always be doing research. Find out what prevails outside the country. There are good practices that are coming up from other universities that you can learn to transfer to your university so that it would develop your students. But many people fail to do this. And if I talk about this, you realize that we are doing very limited programs. We are not just taking students. If you come to the School of Business, we have one of the best school of business in Cameroon. We have one of the best schools of business in Cameroon. I'm very proud about that. And we've been like that for so long now. This year, for example, look at the HND results. Many schools had really, really poor results. But HIPS, again, stood and produced one of the best students in the whole of Cameroon in accounting, Tata Mirabel. The name is there. When we talk facts because HIPS don't lie. We produced one of the best students in accounting, and her friends were also some of the best in the country with upper credits and so on. You go to the area of logistics and transport, we score 100%. And so when you come to these things, you realize that we are succeeding. We are creating this impact because we have limited ourselves to our capabilities. We are not just functioning because we want to make quick money. If you come to nursing, the low quality of training we are giving, our students are on internship. They've been promised part-time job already by hospitals that whenever they are free, they should come because of their level of productivity.
From the Ministry of Public Health that nobody should train nurses again. Yes. So that one is illegal.
No. I think you don't know, madam. I think
to finish.
Yeah, no, you're getting it all wrong.
Those that are already there have to finish.
Yes,
but it means that this year is just the last year.
That will say that those that are already there have to finish.
Madam, it's not what you think. Yes. It's not what you think. I think many people read this communique and then they get it misunderstood. The ministry is trying to see how the nurses will be absorbed into or accepted into the Council of Nurses in Cameroon. There was a confusion. Now you're digressing me, you're taking me to a sensitive area. I was talking about something else. You brought something. You know,
yes. But I think we'll handle this issue of nursing
it's a long debate.
Different topic.
Yes, yes, it's a long debate. I was on TV yesterday in Douala to talk about this. It's a different thing. It's not what most of the people think. Just to, in a nutshell, there is a meeting today by the Ministry of Public Health and the Ministry of Higher Education to find the final way forward. So they are still deciding on stuff. And
they are still deciding on stuff.
Yeah, so
because there was a problem. Just go back to what.
Yeah, and the problem, I'll just let me highlight is the problem was not because of anything, but because there was a confusion at the level of training and implementation. The level of training, the Ministry of Higher Education made it clear. You can come out with HND, you can top up to a degree. The same like a business school where you can come in with HND in accounting or logistics, and then you come out with you top up to a degree. The kind of work, the responsibilities that someone with a degree in accounting, someone with a degree in law will be given will be different from someone with HND in accounting. But at the level of hospitals, sometimes we're taking people with HND and giving them responsibilities of people with a degree. So that confusion is what they're trying to solve. Okay.
Yes,
so we will talk about that. It's a very long debate. So
and we'll surely bring the
but just
because the Ministry of Public Health says the Ministry of Education cannot be validating nurses, while the Ministry of Public Health, they have to work hand in hand together.
Yes, I think we'll bring doctors and the rest, medical doctors. They will bring some other education personnel here, so that we talk this issue.
Yes, no, so this is a different, I think it's a topic.
You will come back to it.
We're talking about
the learning environment.
Yes, the environment.
So, it's just an advice. That's why if you come to us, we do a degree in law, a full degree in law, for example. These are things that we can handle conveniently. We bring in experts. Some of them are lecturers from state universities as well, who have many years of experience. You have some of these people who are state councils at the level of the Boya Council and even out of the Boya courts and out of Boya. They come, we bring in these experts because we know that they are able to transfer competencies to these young people. So we make sure that in their spare time while they are not at work in their government offices, we feed them in our timetables to come and train these lawyers. Okay? So, and we don't take things that we cannot handle. You cannot take, the kind of program that will require a lot of heavy investment and infrastructure that you cannot handle, and at the end of the day you cram a couple of students in a 4-meter square room, if that is not even big enough, because some are smaller, and then you cram them in there and you start pretending that you are taking because you are taking money from them and just messing around. These are the lives of people you are playing with. So it's just an advice. Schools should not take what they cannot handle. Don't chew more than you can swallow. When you come to HIPS, and we know some of the schools that we believe are doing something sensible as well. When a student comes to us to offer a program that we are not offering, we tell you, go and check that school. We send many students to schools. I have personally taken students from HIPS that came for admissions, but because we don't do that program, I take them to another school that I believe is doing that program and they are doing it well. That's how we function. But this issue of enmity between schools, where you will know that this person is doing this program better, and then you get so bitter. I hear a lot of sabotage. People will talk about this, people will talk about that instead. It's more or less like a warfare to make quick money and big profits. It's not supposed to be like this. We are supposed to work in partnership to help these young people. If you come to this school and you are not able to do this program, send it. Sometimes you sit in the office, you realize that someone has been fooling a number of people, telling them that they are training them in this, and then they'll come to you and tell you that I want you to help me graduate my students for me, that they studied this kind of program. This kind of program. HIPS is so clear. We are so proud of the quality of training that we give our students. So if we don't train you, we don't graduate you. And if you come, we train you, you don't meet the minimum requirements of graduation, you don't graduate. So the quality of our degree is so high, and that's why many of our graduates have been accepted in schools in the United States, in UK, in Britain, in Germany and so on. We have so many students all over the world. Our degree is recognized all over the world, and many of these universities have accepted us because when our students go there, the level of productivity is so high. Even HIPS sends students from the first degree, we send them to UB for masters if they don't want to continue to do masters with us because the fees are higher. And when they go there, many of them have performed so well that I've met some of the officials there and they are proud of us. They are really proud of the quality of training. We have Teboche Nathaniel, for example. We have Mb Bate, who went for banking and finance. When they go there, they perform very well. They are amongst the top master students in UB. That's just to show the quality of training that we give them and the foundation. So HIPS is doing its best. We just hope that other universities can sway away from this issue of quick profits and look at the lives of these young people as a responsibility. Put the students first. That's what we do in HIPS. What will you become after you leave HIPS? How will you represent HIPS when you leave HIPS and go elsewhere? Those are the things that really matter with our core visions and our core values. That's why we don't play with the lives of these young people. And I believe God will pay us. And He's already paying us for this because many of these young people are very happy. Whenever they see us, they are happy. Most of them are very successful already. So, I believe that we have a responsibility to always put the interests of the students first. And that is one of the things that HIPS is known for.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Musoke, one of the characteristics that I've seen in because now is a period, most of these schools are advertising, is scholarship. All of them, they are giving scholarship. They are saying that they are offering scholarship to students. You don't pay fees and all of that. And I believe we even have some of the students here that they pay, those scholarship stuffs are not really real. It's just a means to get many students to their schools. What can you say about it? This is deception in terms of education.
Yeah, you cannot deceive for long. When you use such methods or strategies to get people, the news will spread, and very soon you realize that your name will be soiled. So it's better to be truthful and have those that can come to you and grow gradually than to use deception, and at the tail end many people will realize that you are offering nothing. You will not hide. There are many higher institutions, many private higher institutions here in Buea that are lamenting, they're crying. I was talking with some of their top persons. I said, but don't advertise anyhow. It means that be truthful in your advert. Put what is real, so that when people come there tomorrow, they see it. You know that youth talk a lot. When they come and not see it, tomorrow the news will go out. When you say you are giving scholarship for students, it's not bad, but make sure that when they come, you give them the scholarship. It's not bad to give scholarship to students or to youths, but fulfill your word. Keep to your word. When those that have been selected for that scholarship come, give them the scholarship. If it is 50%, if it is 20%, if it is 10%, whatsoever you stated, make sure you fulfill it. Don't at the end deceive the youth. When they have come there, they will start talking, please, wait, we are still trying to. Because let me tell you the truth. There was a year that a higher institution, again we don't call names, asked me to help them, and I think I sent about 25 students there. Yes, I sent 25 students there. Then there are many other students that went there in my name, but I did not bother, because the person had told me that at the end of the year he will call me and give me a big package. So at the end of the year now, I got to him and I asked, I said, but I sent more than 25 students to you, and even beyond. So many of them have even been calling me to say that this place is really nice and so on. But you have not done anything to me. Let me be very honest that at the tail end, what that guy did, what that man did, I did not bother. And I said, okay, thank you for what you have done. Now, what am I trying to say here now? I'm trying to say that we should keep to our words. But he did not keep to his word. I said so many students, I'm telling you, so many students. It was a big name. I even had a group of students that I went school to school, talk to, encourage them to go there. But let me tell you that I'm not saying that my main interest was no. I always do that and help youth. I'm just talking of people should keep to their words. Don't say what you will not do. If you are giving scholarship, give it. And when you are giving scholarship, you should make it very clear. I'm giving scholarship of 20%. I'm giving scholarship of 10%. Don't just say I'm giving scholarship. When you say you are giving scholarship, it's vague. Be specific. Scholarships, even online, are specific. They tell you what they will do if you are coming to that school. It's not hidden. If it's full scholarship, it's full scholarship. If it's partial scholarship, it's partial scholarship. They give you the outline. So they should be able to give the outline of the scholarship. If it is found in their website, they should tell the student, direct them to their website, that see details in our website, so they can go to the website and check and see the details about the scholarship that they are offering. And I just also wish to say that it's not too much talking that make people to have students. There are already good names and goodwill names. Let me just restrict myself in Buea. People already know. We are not mentioning names here because we are not here to mention names. So those good names should remain and keep their standard high. If you drop, the same students will carry your name. It's not us who carry your name. The same students who will say, no, that place, don't go there. And they will stop so many friends not to go there. Since the GCE came out, I have received so many calls. I'm telling you, the number of calls that I've received and messages. There are some parents that have already called me and spoken with them on phone. One man called me and was saying, "Play, I've been seeing you on television," and things like that. And I've told them not to rush. That just be a little bit patient. I'll tell you where to send your child to, because they say they don't want to send their child to state university. I say, okay, if you private higher institution, okay, I'll tell you where to send your child to. There are many already, but I just told them, tell your child, I'll talk with her or talk with him first. I'll not just tell you the parent, how to talk with your child. So I've already spoken to so many youths already, and a good number of them I've already directed them. But what I told them is that, please, my name is not an issue. If you are feeling anything anywhere, they say name, don't bother to write my name, because I'm not interested in maybe whatsoever they will be doing whatsoever. That one is not my interest. My interest is to help youths. Yes. So that is it. Be truthful, and people will send people to you, even when you don't even know, and you don't even know those people, but they already have heard and they know what you are doing. They'll send people to you, and at the end you have many more people to train. But again, I still say it again, those who are already carrying more than they can chew, reconsider. If you cannot handle the bulk, please cut down and restrict yourself to areas and develop those areas first, and so that when the youth come out from your institutions, they will be very useful and very productive when they go out to have a job or create a business or start a small business or whatsoever. That is what I just wish to say. Let's keep deception out of the game. The youth are so desperate that they don't need to be frustrated the more. They are already frustrated. Let them not come again and receive more frustration in your institution. Thank you.
You're welcome. As a means to keep down unemployment, those who graduate, do you refer them to somewhere? Do you follow up to see that they have been integrated in the society, in the job market?
Yes, we have a way of following through, like they always say, HIPS is one big family. So in HIPS, when you come to study, HIPS don't lie. They always say, I'll mention something about that later. But HIPS is one big family. That's what our students always say, because our partnership, our relationship with our students does not end at the level of graduation. When they graduate, we'll be able to follow through. If I show you my phone here, is full of messages from students who are studying in Canada, in America, Britain, Germany, and so on. We still keep in touch. And even to the point that when they're studying, we have a culture where all our students remain with the family. And so when they have difficulties over there, which they hardly ever do, they contact the lecturers behind there for support, and we still help them, even though they have graduated and they are studying in a different university. Now, in terms of job creation and employment, we make sure that we have some partnerships with companies, and companies have heard about our good reputation. So every now and again, they call us, they contact us to send them students, graduates in particular fields, and we send students who get some jobs. But one thing HIPS does not do is to promise jobs to people, because HIPS does not tell lies. That's why they say HIPS don't lie. We don't tell students that when you come to HIPS, you leave, you immediately find employment. But at the same time, because of the quality of training that we give the students, we know that when they graduate, it will not be long, they will find jobs, and that is what happens. Those who cannot find jobs, many of them already have the entrepreneurial mindset. Many of them are not even looking for jobs. Their goal is to finish and start working. Their goal is to finish and continue to study to a doctor. Their goal is to finish and start a company. Their goal is to finish and travel abroad. So our students, when they come to HIPS, we talk to them, we establish the exact mindset that they want, and we keep the class sizes very small, so we know them, we form a relationship, we form a bond that makes us feel very responsible to these individuals. So we help them in every possible way. The university itself employs some of the graduates. So when we finish and we graduate our students, some of them get jobs. Holiday jobs, we also make sure that we give them positions to be able to make money so that they can support themselves during their time in school. Now, talking about, just reflecting on what Mr. Mosoke talked about, is deceitful marketing, as we describe it in HIPS. That's one of the reasons why our students started saying HIPS don't lie. That statement came from students, not from us. Many people have asked me so many questions, why that statement is so strong and is so sweet, is so nice, and how we came to even think about it. The students came from this because many students left from other schools and came to HIPS. And then they realized that whatever we promised them is exactly what we gave them. Most often we exceeded their expectations anyway. We can promise you 10,000 and then we give you 20. So it's just that we always do more to the students. We go the extra mile. So then they realized and said, for the first time they've met a university that does exactly what they say. Then they started to say HIPS don't lie because of their poor experiences elsewhere. In HIPS, if you refer a student, going back to what Mola was saying, Mr. Mosoke was saying, Akoli Mola, when you refer a student, every student you bring to HIPS will give you 30,000 francs cash. As you bring a student that registers in HIPS, we give you 30,000 francs cash. That is what we have been doing for long. In fact, we introduced this strategy of HIPS referral bonus. Remember that we always introduce things and then the others copy. So we introduced this strategy since 2015. Where we started to introduce a referral bonus before others came to copy it, and we still do it, and we are still on top of the game, and we have never cheated anybody. Whether you are there to collect the money on time, whether you are somewhere and you want it as Momo, when you bring a student to HIPS, for every student you bring or you recommend, you don't need to come yourself if it's not possible. We give you 30,000 francs cash, and we don't tell lies. We've never done that. There are people who make that money. Sometimes some people make 400 and something thousands. Edwin is one of our students. He was making 500 and something thousands just by bringing his friends to HIPS every year. We have so many of them. For just to cut it short for the last one, sorry. Yes, I know. Just to talk about the last thing, that in HIPS also, you can study the direct degree program, which is tailored to solve many of the problems you were talking about. Because if you look at the HND program, is also tailored to solve some problems. But looking at our context, we developed a direct degree program where students study to get a professional degree from UB without writing HND, and all they need is 2 papers, including religion and any point.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lyonga. Mr. Mosoke, how do you think that these professional higher institutions can be job creators and create employment for these our youth? Like a take-home message, what solution will you propose to them?
Yeah, my proposal is that they should have the manpower, they should have infrastructure. It means that they should have the facilities. If you are training students in engineering, then you should have a good laboratory where the practical work should be done. Else you are not yet qualified, because I don't think that we are training the theoretical engineers. Engineers are people who do more of practical work and solve problems and bring solutions to issues of life. So you cannot be training engineers, then you don't have the facilities, you don't have what it takes, and you don't even have qualified staff or people that are experts in the field to come and talk to them. You are still using theorists that are hanging in other universities around. So I think that the issue of liaising with industry is very, very important. How many of them are are partners to companies and industries and maybe public works, for example, and so on. So I think that we should leave the stage of theory where we make a lot of noise, and when people come now, they see only theory. The issue of practice is not there. And I don't think that it's theory that people need today, because practice is very different. The practical work is very different from what you do in class. In class, you solve problems. You solve problems theoretically. But how do you solve these problems in the field? If you are training people, for example, on electrical engineering, for example, do you have the facility? Do you have what? Or are you linked up to companies? To big organizations where these students can go for real internship. And I see a lot of short-term internships here. I think that there are some programs that need at least 6 months internship, but you still find some students go and do 2 months and come back to school. So we really need these private higher institutions. That's why I say that they are a good number, or they are carrying more than what they can chew. And it's already portraying that they are out for money. Is something of capitalism and money making for such institutions that are carrying more than what they can chew, and they produce nothing. At the end, again, their graduates are still roaming the streets. Then of which use are they? Of which essence are they? To me, I think that these private higher institutions of learning should sit up, restrict themselves to the corner that they can handle, and form Cameroonians in those corners, so that they will be different from state universities that don't have that ability, or they may have it, but they have not gone far. So I think that they're supposed to have a lot of industry link, because the truth is, you have the government, you have the institutions, then you have the private sector, or you have the industries or the companies that are there. So there should be a strong correlation between the institutions and the companies to actually train professionals. This should be. If it's probably something like software engineering and the rest, which they can do a lot of work, maybe with online platforms, they can do a lot of work there. That one is a little bit different. But when it has to do with maybe say hardware and the rest, you should have the hardware this in there and hardware experts to be able to talk to students, not just come to the board and write and draw this and that and go. No. So I think that these private higher institutions should be able, as they call themselves, professional institutions, as they call themselves. I'm not saying that they are. I say some of them might be and some of them might not be. They should truly be professional. They should truly train youth with practical knowledge, that when they go out, this youth should be useful. Some youth should live there and start businesses, should start initiatives, should be able to control certain projects that will lead to their financial stand in future. We are no longer talking about theories again. We have gone beyond theory. Let the practical work be at least 80%. Then the theory be 20%, because it's a practice, it's a practical work that is going to solve problems in the field. It's not the theory. The theory is important, give you the knowledge, but let these hands-on issues be their motto. Let them not be brandishing what they are not doing, and also releasing a multitude of unemployed graduates that are in the street everywhere now. I have so many of them in my quartier turning around. They went to private higher institution. I did 4 years, and but you did 4 years. You are here roaming the street. What have you done? They'll stay quiet. And there are just too many of them. So I think that their image is already dwindling. And the more they don't produce graduates that can solve problems, very soon no parent will want to even listen to them again. So their existence is at stake as long as they are not fulfilling what they are saying. And they make parents to spend a lot of money, and at the tail end, the young man or the young woman still come and sit at home. I don't think that is acceptable. Thank you.
You're welcome. What solutions are private higher institutions, professional private higher institutions bringing on board?
Well, I think it starts. This main problem is the issue of mindset. If you talk to these students, you give them good orientation for them to choose exactly what they're able to do, and then do it very well, I think you will be solving many of these problems and the frustrations that Mr. Musoke is expressing here. Now, if you take these students and you throw them in the deep end, you cannot expect miracles in the end. Sadly, I must make reference to what we are doing because I believe it's the benchmark. Now, you have to make sure that when you come to our case, when the students come into HIPS, before we admit students, we talk to them first. We try to find out exactly what they want to do and why they want to do it. We realize that for the most part, many of the students don't know exactly what they want to do. So we put them through counseling and make sure that they are able to do what they want to do. They will enjoy doing it, and it will be very productive, and they'll succeed with it. Now, if universities establish the mindset of the students, many of the students that come to us, we make sure that we establish that mindset that they have to go and create businesses. They have to go and start from somewhere. It doesn't mean that because you have a degree, you must go to the bank. If you have a degree as in banking and finance, for example, it doesn't mean that you have to just expect yourself to be a junior manager in the bank. You can start from somewhere lower than that. So we give them the right information. The problem why Mr. Musoke is explaining why some students will not want to do something is because they will not want to start from somewhere lower. They were assured by their universities that you are going through professional education, and as a result of that, you are a big person in the society, you are a big person in the community once you graduate, which may not be the case. You might start from somewhere lower and you climb. So that's one of the core strengths that we have. We make sure that the mindset of the students is established very well. We are training you not to guarantee you big jobs in the biggest companies around, We are training you to go and start a company. We are training you to go and take employment and start from somewhere and then grow. Yes.
We are almost running out of time. I want to thank you very much for coming to the program. I want to thank you, Mr. Mosoke. This is a very interesting topic and pertinent, and I believe that most parents who are watching us from home will look very well before they leap. Like Mr. Mosoke said, don't rush. If you have any doubt, you can get to Mr. Mosoke. You can get to High TV. Okay.
Yes. I just wish to assure the public that next week Monday we'll be bringing a young successful lady. She'll be here on board. A young successful lady. This lady is extremely successful. She has traveled to so many countries, and she will be the main speaker here next week to encourage girls and bring her on board, because I want her to encourage girls who think that they should go and do funny things. This is a lady who have worked so hard in life, and she will inspire girls here on board next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mosoke. The rebroadcast of this program comes up at 10 p.m. Do well again to join us next week for another edition, and stay tuned to High Television.